Every cell in your body is a tiny factory, constantly making proteins. Your genetic code, or DNA, directs every activity. Protein-making machinery in the cell reads the cell's own DNA and makes sure the cell proteins go where they're needed. Viruses have their own genetic code, but they don't have the machinery to copy their DNA. So viruses need your cell's machinery to reproduce themselves. A virus starts this process by using the keys on its surface to gain entry. Like a Trojan horse, it enters the cell. The virus releases its own DNA into the unsuspecting cell and hijacks the protein-making machinery. Now, this vital cell function becomes an assembly line for new virus particles. No longer in service to your body, the cell now serves the virus, manufacturing thousands of new virus particles, which are released to enslave more cells. Thousands and thousands more.
The structure of coronavirus has multiple parts. Inside the virus lies the genetic encoding that allows the virus to hijack human cells and turn them into virus factories. A protein encapsulates the genetic material known as the viral envelope. On the surface of the viron are S and HE proteins. The structure of 2019 novel coronavirus is a mutation.
As the coronavirus spreads across the US, nobody knows how many people will be infected. But judging from prior pandemics, some experts suggest that between 20 and 60% of adults will contract the virus. Not everyone who gets infected is tested or shows symptoms. Harvard's models estimate that on average, about a fifth of those infected would have symptoms that require hospitalization. ProPublica reviewed new data from the Harvard Global Health Institute to map several scenarios for how this pandemic could play out. The colors show the hospital beds available in each region, starting with green, where hospitals would be less than 100% full, to red, where at least twice as many hospital beds would be required than are currently available. This assumes that hospitals don't free up already occupied beds. Even in one of the best-case scenarios, where the virus spreads over 12 months and the infection rate is 20%, many regions of the country would be at or above their existing hospital bed capacity. Some regions would struggle more than others to handle surges of patients. One place is Seattle, the region that had the nation's first virus-related deaths. Typically, about 71% of Seattle's hospital beds are occupied, leaving less than a third of their beds open for additional patients. If 20% of adults become infected within 6 months, the region would need more than double its total beds. If the virus spreads more slowly, over 12 or 18 months, the pressure for additional hospital beds eases. But if the infection rate in Seattle is 40%, the need for beds goes up dramatically. And if it's 60% over 6 months, Seattle would need about 5 times as many hospital beds. If the virus spreads faster and a greater percentage of people are infected, bed shortages would be more dire. If 20% of the country is infected over 6 months, most regions would need more hospital beds than are currently available. Hospitals would be forced to either expand capacity, limit elective surgeries and unnecessary treatments, or even make life and death decisions about rationing care. In the worst-case scenario, with a 60% infection rate in just 6 months, the nation would require more than 7 times the number of hospital beds that it currently has available. That's why slowing the spread over a longer period of time is critical. Experts say if we adopt social distancing strategies, like staying home and avoiding crowds, we can slow the spread, so hospital staff can be better prepared to treat patients in the coming.
Inside the virus lies the genetic encoding that allows the virus to hijack human cells and turn them into virus factories. A protein encapsulates the genetic material known as the viral envelope. On the surface of the viron are S and H proteins. The structure of the 2019 novel coronavirus is in mutation. For more information on this, see